Hey, what's up guys? So I finally got lucky and for once I got the raid exotic to drop actually on my first time doing the raid on the opening weekend. And so after rocking the Vex Mythoclast for a few hours in both PvP and PvE, I knew I wanted to do a review on the gun. So as I started editing the review, I stopped midway and it didn't seem like I did enough justice to the weapon, not using it that much. So I held off on the review and gave it more time, and I'm really happy I did because it gave me the opportunity to test out a few different builds with it and really find out how the weapon worked, and it made a huge difference. So anyway, my review will be based on three major considerations: the exotic mechanics and function, the usability and practicality, and the Vex's position in the current sandbox. And if you find this video helpful in any way, please hit the like and subscribe. Alright, so starting off with the Vex's function and mechanics. The Vex Mythoclast has two different firing modes. The primary mode is similar to a 360 RPM auto rifle, and the secondary mode firing a linear fusion rifle bolt. In order to activate the linear fusion mode, you first have to build up a total of 5 stacks of overcharge. To get the stacks, you just have to kill enemies. Holding the reload button once 5 stacks is accumulated will load your magazine with 3 linear fusion rounds. But keep in mind that if you swap weapons at any point, you will lose any progress you have on your overcharge stacks. Besides the handling and the reload speed, the Vex has pretty poor stats, most impactful being the range and stability. Playing on controller and console, the stability is it's almost unmanageable. Yes, this catalyst gives you stability with every charge, but you first need to earn those charges. The range is very bad in the primary auto rifle mode, experiencing damage drop off around the 20-meter mark. In the secondary linear fusion mode, the Vex is insanely accurate, and if you get this active in the Crucible, you're pretty much guaranteed 3 easy headshot kills. In PvE, these shots deal a pretty good amount of damage of around 35,000 per crit at base. Alright, let's move on to the usability and practicality. The Vex has pretty sweet functionality on paper, but we need to look at the Vex not as a fusion rifle, but as a 360 RPM auto rifle, and separately as a linear fusion rifle. So let's look at the auto rifle mode first. The Vex shoots at a 360 RPM, similar to the false promises. When you look at the poor base stats of the Vex and compare it to a good rolled false promises, the false promises outclasses it by a pretty long shot in every way. Now let's look at the secondary linear fusion mode. The Vex has a long charge time of 820. Due to it being an energy linear fusion, I figured the best comparison would be the Arbalist. Firstly, the Vex takes primary ammo and the Arbalist takes special ammo. But that doesn't really matter because you need to get 2 to 6 kills to activate Vex's linear fusion shots, which is 3 shots by the way. In that same amount of time, you would likely have found ammo for the Arbalist and get more than 3 shots. Now comparing damage, the Vex does around 35,000 crit damage at base. The Arbalist outdamages it by around 10,000 damage, doing around 47,000 damage. Lastly, you can swap weapons when using the Arbalist without losing any exotic benefit. With the Vex, you can't. If you swap to a heavier primary, you lose any exotic benefit, including the Catalyst perks. So in my mind, it just makes more sense to use the Arbalist and an auto rifle of your choosing in the energy slot. Alright, so let's talk about the PvP meta for a minute. Currently, hand cannons, shotguns, and snipers all in the Crucible. The combination of those weapons make you effective from basically any range. With the poor range and stability of the Vex, it's very hard to compete with that. You're required to get within 15 to 20 meters of the enemy, but now with a dodge, jump, or a slide, your enemy is basically in shotgun, sidearm, or SMG range, and if you don't react quickly, you're as good as dead. It's just not worth the work you need to put in to get those 3 linear fusion shots. Now you can think, well, I'll just run a shotgun with the Vex. But then it just kind of deletes the purpose of running the Vex in the first place, because you'll lose any progress you made with the overcharge stacks. See where I'm getting with this? It's a much more forgiving world, but unlike PvP, where it only takes 2 kills to get full charges, in PvE it can take up to 6 kills, depending on the type of enemy. But unlike PvP, swapping weapons to get the most out of the artifact mod and for boss DPS is a necessity. But again, if the meta for DPS is grenade launchers, swords, auto-loading rockets, whatever, it renders the Vex basically pointless outside of regular strikes and other quick fun activities. So to conclude my review and give my summed up opinion, with the stability issues, the range issues, the inability to change weapons while using the Vex, the Vex just isn't good and it's not worth using. If they made the catalyst so it, say, allowed you to change weapons without a penalty, it might be viable and definitely funner to use. Other weapons do the same things, but they do it better. Almost every exotic has a place somewhere in the game, but the Vex just does not. With all that being said, I hope you guys like the review and I hope it helps you out and takes a little bit of the stress off of grinding the Vault of Glass raid for the Vex. It is definitely still worth grinding because there are plenty of great weapons in the vault. Again, if you find this video helpful in any way, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Have a good one.
Vex won't give up so easily. They're recalibrating their defenses.